Hello everyone, good to have your company on Olsem Wanem. On the show this evening, we talk about water service and supply here in the nation's capital. We also talk to the service provider and find out what their plans are, and speak to the member for Mosby South who made it possible for the village of Pari to finally have access to proper water supply.
Just only 2 taps we wait for the water whole day. Some we get them, some we don't get them. We come back with empty containers.
Water is a global need. It is the most essential part of human survival. We use it to bathe, cook, and clean our clothes, etc. The supply of water to any city is crucial, and Port Moresby is no different.
People even go to Wabukori from their dinghies and fetch water there and come back. Some even get into the bus with their containers, take a trip up to Kila, get water.
I have vehicles, even use dinghies to get water outside.
You're watching Olsem Wanem. When we return, Edaranu and its plans to extend its services. That's after the break. This is Olsem Wanem. Service provider Edaranu caters for Port Moresby's water and sewage matters. It is a commercial entity that generates revenue from homes and businesses within the city to sustain its operations. The CEO, Billy Ima, explains more.
Edaranu is a company that was enacted by Act of Parliament in 1996, and it is responsible for water and sewage in the city of Port Moresby. We're only responsible for the city of Port Moresby, not outside of NCD. We took over the services from NCDC. Before that, it was operated and managed by NCDC. But in 1996, the company was formed by Act of Parliament, and so the company is now responsible for the services in Port Moresby alone. Of course, some of our services have gone beyond NCD boundary, for example, up to Laloki Mental Hospital, and then to some villages like Porobada water system there. So we have gone outside of NCD, even though our responsibility is only here in the city.
Households and businesses are monitored for water consumption and then billed on a fortnightly or monthly basis.
We get our water supply from Laloki River, up from the Serinmu Dam, and it comes into our Mount Erema water treatment plant. And it's produced and made into potable water where people can use. And that's where it's supplied down to the city. So we monitor the production up there, and then it comes down, and then everyone in the city, especially those in the subdivided areas where they have section and allotments. So these are people we meter, and everyone has meters. Having said that, we also meter settlements and some villages as well.
In recent months, the Edaranu board approved a policy that enables the company to extend its services outside of Port Moresby boundary into neighboring villages. This means extending its services to those in the Hiri East and Hiri West, including Koyari landowners.
We are monitoring, and we know how much water is non-revenue, we call it. That means people are not paying for it, but we know how much is going to them. So this is very important for our planning. So we know that the amount of water that is being paid for and the water that is just going. If you like, we call it a community service obligation, so that water is going, but we know how much is going and how much is cost, in terms of our production.
The biggest challenge faced by Ereranu is policing illegal water connections.
We can't keep on, cheating and stealing forever. Somehow we must change our mentality and come back to our senses that service has to be paid for. People are paying for PNG power, they're paying for telecommunication. Why can't they pay for water?
You're with Olsem Wanem. When we come back, Pari Village gets water. This is Olsem Wanem. Most Motukoita villages outside the city limits have had to struggle for years to fetch water, walking long distances and carrying containers to and from their homes. This exercise will become a thing of the past for one village, thanks to the member for Moresby South, who came good when he spearheaded the implementation of the Pari Water Project.
People above my age. I'm 61 now, but there's people above my age. People who are 10 years older than me, down to the little children. Has to walk this distance up to where the settlement village is, even up to Kila Kila, trying to get water.
Our policy of Greater Port Moresby entails towards improving the services to our villages, Motukoita villages in Port Moresby. So towards the end of last year, Honorable Minister Justin Chesenko, he approached us to look at a project in Pari Village. That project has been going on for a while, but nothing has really happened. So he came to seek our technical advice, and so we recosted the project, and we've advised him, and he funded that project. And so we basically were responsible just for the management of the project. There was a contractor who was sourced, and he put in the infrastructure, the pipes and the taps to the coastal part of the village or Pari, and so it was commissioned just before Christmas, and so it is a good collaboration. In fact, it's the first of its kind where a member of parliament has come forward in NCD to talk to Ereranu, to collaborate and to see how best we can service the villages. So we were very happy that we were able to help our minister, and it will lead on to other villages as well.
So the first project that came to mind was the Pari village water supply. It was initiated a year or so ago, 2 years ago, by the then member, and with that the member spent nearly 1.8 million kina to get the Pari water supply going, which hasn't been initiated for the past 15 years. Now that 1.8 million, unfortunately, was all used up and no water supply was ever delivered to the people of Pari.
The member pointed out that money previously used to fund the water project was not used properly and resulted in non-completion.
So they gave a report, and the report finally found out that with that 1.8 million that was approved, that they said the whole job was done, only 35% of the job was completed. So 1.8 million, 35% of the job completed only. So with that, I asked them as well, how much would it cost for us to finish the job? And they came back with a report of a full detailed report that it would only cost 380,000 kina to finish the job so the people could have water in Pari for Christmas. It'll take about 6 weeks.
And so just before Christmas, the Pari village became the recipients of much needed water supply, thanks to the collaborative efforts of the member for Moresby South, Justin Tichenko, Eda Ranu, and the Motu Koita Council.
I now officially cut the ribbon to open the taps here in Pari for the first time in 15 years.
The burden has been lifted, you know. This is our first time to get water just near our steps.
Okay, go!
Normally town and people help us with filling our containers, or otherwise we buy water from them, bring them for our living.
They carry their water container, they walk all the way to the settlement in our driveway, driving to the village. It's called Doru and Mintoam. They go and fetch water there. And it's very hard for them to carry the container home, where they wait for their sons, or whenever a vehicle passes by, they put their container in to carry their water container home.
Once final touches to the main pipes have been completed and the estimated consumption of water are finalized, the Pari villagers will become paying customers within the next 6 months. This is Olsem Wanem. We'll be back with more after the break. You're watching Olsem Wanem. We've been talking about water service here in the nation's capital, but there has been other water projects initiatives that have been implemented in other parts of the country. The following are stories of some major companies doing their bit to assist communities with access to clean water supply. In recent months, 2 corporate companies launched water projects in surrounding villages, making water accessible and relieving families from walking long distances in search for water.
We hope that this water project makes a real difference in the community here.
In stark contrast, back here on the outskirts of Port Moresby, Gaire, another village that needs better access to water closer to their homes instead of walking more than 2 kilometers every day to find water.
Very, what will I say, tiring. We are not camels or horses where we are used to cutting this water this way. The containers are the 5-gallon containers, and they are almost 20-liter ones. We carry them on our back to our house.
Perhaps the biggest challenge yet for a city like Port Moresby is the underlying issue of how to provide adequate water supply to everyone in and around the city. Overpopulation and the boom of settlements continue to override proper water distribution. And in some cases, those who can pay for water end up paying more for less. This has been Olsem Wanem. Do join us again next week for another edition. Until then, have a good evening.